Okay, so getting back into Black Panther, A Nation Under Our Feet, we actually pick up with chapter 2, or book 2, sorry, but the first chapter in book 2. And in the opening pages, we do get reminded that right now Wakanda is divided. The people do not believe in T'Challa as their king anymore, nor do they trust his family either? And the reason why, because when it comes to Wakanda at this point in Marvel Comics, they have gone through a lot in just a couple years. You had Doctor Doom, you had Namor, you had Thanos, all doing different things to Wakanda in a short amount of time. And right now, the people believe that T'Challa cannot protect Wakanda at all. Now, with all that being said, though, remember in the last issue, the enemies of T'Challa were afraid that sooner or later he was going to call in reinforcements from outside Wakanda, his allies. And he did that. And he called in Eden. Now, we actually met Eden at the very beginning of our coverage over Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers. But with that being said, Eden is a very powerful character. He is able to teleport almost anywhere in the universe. With that being said, though, the reason why Black Panther had brought him here to Wakanda is because Black Panther wants to do surprise attacks on the different enemies he has right now in Wakanda, especially a group of people who just killed a bunch of women and daughters. And so right now you have Black Panther get teleported inside their hideout to take out these soldiers. Now, there is a second reason why he's attacking these guys. It's not just because they killed a bunch of women and daughters. It's also because he got word they're doing some kind of experiments here. And that is the moment we come to find out there are people who are becoming bombs. They have basically been infused with technology that will blow them up. But of course, they'll become suicide bombers. Now, after that, you do have Black Panther meeting up with a different kind of council. Now, the reason why I say a different kind of council is because the last council Black Panther had in book 1, they were really trying to find different ways to bring Wakanda back together, because Wakanda has so many different problems right now. It's hard for T'Challa to bring his country back together again. But in this book right here, he had brought in a new kind of council, a darker one, a more evil one. And the reason why I say those things is because these guys are from different countries. But of course, in those countries right there, they rule over their countries. They are hard rulers. They're not great presidents. They're not great leaders. They are just strong but evil leaders. And that is why Black Panther has brought them there, because in those countries, most things bad don't happen over there. Meaning that, yes, you do have some illegal things happening here and there, but you don't have a country right now trying to get their president out of office or their king out of the throne room. Right now, it's just they rule and that is final. And so right now you have these men tell T'Challa, you need to be hard on your nation. You need to be hard on your people. Put this nation under your feet. Basically, the title of this book. And the reason why they're saying that is because they're kind of like, if you're hard on your people, they'll fall in line. You may have to kill some people to make them fall in line. But again, if you do those things, they'll fall in line. They'll work with you. They'll follow your rules. They'll follow your ideas. But you have to be tough. You have to be ruthless. You have to kill people here and there possibly to make your nation fall under your feet and make them fall in line and listen to their king once again. But it's something T'Challa does not want to do truly, because again, he wants to bring his country back together on good terms. Not on bad terms, on good terms. But this meeting right here is going to play an important role down the road. And you'll see what I mean here in a few chapters. Now, let's not forget about Shuri though, because Shuri is around, but not around the same time. What I mean is, when Thanos attacked Wakanda a second time, he put Shuri in a stasis cube. So right now, she's not dead, nor she's alive. She's just stuck in stasis. But her mind was teleported into a different plane of existence. And of course, this plane is the collective memories of Wakandans throughout the years of Wakanda. And right now, she's being trained by a ghost that took the form of her mother. And so right now, she's being trained on how to be a different kind of person, to remember everything about the past of Wakanda and what Wakanda truly is, and how this could affect her down the road and hopefully make her a great queen again for Wakanda and lead Wakanda in the right direction. But right now, that is where she's at until T'Challa is able to finally free his sister from that stasis cube. Now, getting back over to Black Panther, right now we see Black Panther meeting up with one of those suicide bombers. Now, of course, they're still alive. This one is still alive. But of course, Black Panther wants to know where in the world did they get the tech from and how they were able to begin the process of infusing the tech into the bodies of these men. Now, of course, this guy does not want to tell T'Challa anything at all because, again, Wakanda people do not trust T'Challa at the moment. They have gone through a lot. But you have T'Challa say, listen, I know what happened to your brother, and with your brother's death, that is why you are doing this, because you believe if you do this, you can honor your brother in the right way, because his brother apparently died when Thanos came to attack Wakanda a second time. And so this is T'Challa saying, you're mad at me because Thanos attacked Wakanda a second time and your brother died. And when your brother died, of course, he was scared. He was not brave. He had no courage to fight against the forces of Thanos. And so you want to be a way to honor your brother and show that he was not a wimp. He wasn't scared. He was a strong warrior. But doing this is not the right way because you're only going to end up hurting more people down the road. So please tell me, how in the world did y'all get the tech? How in the world did y'all begin the process of infusing that tech into your bodies? Because this tech is very similar to Iron Man's tech. And so that is the big question. How in the world did these guys get Iron Man tech? We know how, but again, Black Panther does not. Because we know it was Zebediah Stane. Zebediah Stane, of course, is a character working along with some of the enemies of Black Panther of the moment. And right now, he was able to give them some Iron Man tech as a way to hopefully help them bring down Wakanda. Now, Zebediah Stane is still a new kind of character. He only appeared in a handful of books because he only first appeared back in 2008. And originally, he was an Iron Man villain, supposed to be the new Ironmonger. But of course, over the years, Marvel forgot about him. But either way, though, he's back right now working with the enemies of Black Panther. Now, remember what I said earlier. When Black Panther had that meeting with those people from different countries, his new council, something bad was going to happen thanks to that meeting right there. Because remember, the men in that meeting, they told Black Panther, if you want to get your nation back under your control, you have to be hard on them. You might have to kill some people here and there, but of course, it will make them fall in line. And those words right there are very important. And the reason why is because those words get played across the entire country of Wakanda. People are now knowing that T'Challa had a meeting with other men from different countries who are leaders, or presidents, or kings, whatever. But in those countries, they are strong, ruthless rulers. They are killing people to make sure their country stay in line. And of course, when Black Panther had that meeting, it was recorded. It's being played across Wakanda, across Wakanda. But either way, in that meeting, they told Black Panther, you have to kill some people, and you might have to do that to get these people back under your control. And of course, with that meeting being recorded and being played across the country, now the people of Wakanda believe that Black Panther might actually kill some of their own people to make this country fall back in line under his rule. Now we know T'Challa is not going to do that. He's the Black Panther. He's a good guy. But of course, with that video being played, it's making the people of Wakanda believe that. And so now it's just beginning the process of making the country divide even more. Now, in the second chapter, we actually pick up with Black Panther right now meeting up with the original council he had back in book 1. Now, with this council, they're telling him what is happening right now all over Wakanda. That with that video being played over and over and over again, that more and more people are beginning to protest. The protesters actually have a leader, and that leader is Baba. Now, we actually met Baba back in our last video. He was a professor in one of the many universities in Wakanda. But with that being said though, with that video being played over and over and over again, more and more protesters just started popping up left and right. But of course, Baba used that as a way to be the leader, because now he believes that T'Challa and his family, they should be gone. Because again, that meeting, that video has been played where another leader told T'Challa, if you want to get your country back under control, you need to begin the process of actually killing people over and over again to make them fall in line. And so right now, Baba is just leading the protesters to hopefully get T'Challa out of the throne room. Now, the book does remind us about the Midnight Angels. Now, remember, the Midnight Angels began with two people, Aneka and Ayo, who used to be Dora Milajes. Now, Dora Milajes are the best female warriors in Wakanda, and they usually work alongside with the king or queen of Wakanda. But these two have broke away because with Wakanda having so many problems, one of the many problems is that crime is on an all-time high. But of course, T'Challa is not dealing with that. T'Challa is trying to stop other threats that are happening in Wakanda, but not trying to stop threats in his own country. And so with that, Aneka and Ayo broke away, became the Midnight Angels, and began the process of going around saving people who needed to be saved. Now, with that being said, though, more and more Dora Milajes have begun the process of no longer working with T'Challa nor anyone else in the future, king or queen, and begin to form their own group. And so the Midnight Angels are getting bigger and bigger. But here comes the problem though. Black Panther has sent in his wild dogs. Now the wild dogs were sent in as a way to capture the Midnight Angels, to stop this group, because to T'Challa, this group right here is causing more and more problems for Wakanda. He's trying to help Wakanda heal, but he believes the Midnight Angels are not doing that. They're making things worse. They are dividing people even more in Wakanda. Now, you do have the Wild Dogs actually trying their best to capture the Midnight Angels. The problem is, though, they are confronted by Zenzi and Titu. Now, these two characters are the two characters right now who are basically trying to free Wakanda from T'Challa's control, but they are working with different people to hopefully break Wakanda out. But with that being said, though, when it comes to Zenzi, she has the ability to control people's feelings, to bring the right feelings out. And Titu, well, he has weather abilities. But either way, though, right now, Zenzi was able to control the feelings of the Wild Dogs to make them realize that they're hurting their own people, the Midnight Angels, that the Midnight Angels are actually doing the right thing. They're trying to bring crime down. Crime is on an all-time high. And right now, here is the Midnight Angels being attacked by their own people, the Wild Dogs, who were sent by T'Challa, because to T'Challa, the Midnight Angels are doing more damage than good for Wakanda. But in reality, they're doing good. They're trying to protect their people right now. And so it's Zenzi using their feelings to make them realize you are attacking your own people, your own daughters and wives and mothers. Why? Why are y'all doing that for? Because T'Challa told you to? Now, getting back over to Black Panther, let's not forget that right now he's trying to figure out how in the world those suicide bombers were able to get tech that was so similar to Iron Man. And so with that being said, you have Iron Man actually tell Black Panther it is Ezekiel Stane. Ezekiel Stane was the one who gave those suicide bombers Iron Man's tech. And so with that being said, you have Black Panther just go out there to find Ezekiel Stane, which he was able to do. Here comes the big problem though. Black Panther went in there by himself with no kind of backup at all. And that was not a good move at all, because unfortunately when he gets in there, he's overrun by so many different people in that room, including Ezekiel Stane. But of course, Black Panther always has a plan B, and that plan B, well, of course, is going to be his own superhero team. And that superhero team is known as The Crew. Now, Marvel was trying to do their all-black superhero team, and honestly, I like this team. It's Storm, Luke Cage, Misty Knight, and Eden being led by Black Panther. It's a really good team. The only problem I have is the name. The Crew sucks to me. But either way, Black Panther basically had these guys on the sideline just in case he does get captured. Eden is going to teleport these guys inside the base of Ezekiel Stane to attack him when the right time comes, which is of course right now. So the first few pages of the third chapter of this storyline, we do pick up with the Crew actually arriving at the very last minute to help Black Panther fight against Ezekiel Stane. Now, I do want to mention one thing. When it comes to the Crew, they did have their own series. That series did not last that long, but of course, we're going to cover that series as our coverage of Black Panther goes on throughout the next couple weeks up to Wakanda Forever. But either way though, you do have Black Panther and the Crew being able to take out most of the people that were working for Ezekiel Stane. But now Black Panther wants to fight against Ezekiel Stane in a one-on-one battle. But of course, we have to jump somewhere else before we can see that one-on-one battle. But then we jump over to Baba meeting up with T2 and Zinzi. Now this meeting is actually very important because remember, Baba is right now the leader of the protesters who are protesting to get rid of T'Challa, because right now T'Challa seems like a bad choice as a king for Wakanda. But either way, you have Baba meeting up with T2 to apologize. And the reason why I say apologize is because back in book 1, T2 actually came over to Baba to ask Baba to join his side, but to also hear how Baba feels about the actions of T2 and how he is trying to free Wakanda. Now in the last book, Baba disagreed with everything that T2 and Zinzi were doing. But now, with that video playing over and over and over again, now his mind has changed about T'Challa, where he says, you know what, I feel like T2 and Zinzi are doing the right thing. And now they have my full support to hopefully free Wakanda from the control of T'Challa and his family. But getting back over to Black Panther and the Crew, let's not forget that Black Panther wanted to fight against Ezekiel Stane in a one-on-one battle. And of course, he does get that one-on-one battle. And of course, you do have Black Panther actually being able to beat down on Ezekiel Stane very easily. But of course, here comes the problem. Ezekiel Stane is able to get away when one of the many people that were working for Ezekiel Stane were able to cloak themselves, grab Ezekiel, and get out of there before Black Panther or the Crew are able to grab him. And so of course that means Ezekiel Stane is still on the board that could cause problems for T'Challa and Wakanda down the road. But of course you do have the Crew and Black Panther head back to the base of Black Panther to think about their next plan. Now, getting back over to Baba, who's right now meeting up with T2 and Zinzi. Remember, Baba had apparently changed his mind about what T2 is doing. He believes that T2 is doing the right thing, trying to free Wakanda. But the problem is, though, he does not agree with the murders that T2 has been doing. Because remember, T2 and Zinzi have been working with Ezekiel Stane. So those bombers could have killed people. There were bombs in the last book that did kill people. There were other things going on around Wakanda where basically people had died. And so you do have Baba say, listen, I agree with what you're trying to do. You're trying to free Wakanda. I don't agree on how you're trying to do that. There has to be a better way to reach this goal. But of course, that is the moment you have T2 say no. For us to actually achieve our goal, we have to kill. And so that means, most likely, they're going to try to kill T'Challa as a way to free Wakanda. And to him, that's the only way they'll be able to actually free Wakanda from the control of T'Challa and his family. Now, getting into the 4th chapter of the book, we actually do pick up with Black Panther saying goodbye to the people of the crew. And the reason why, because even though the crew did help Black Panther complete that last mission, they were not seen by innocent people of Wakanda. The problem is, if people from Wakanda begin to see Black Panther with these outsiders, that could cause more problems. Because when it comes to people of Wakanda, they do not like people from the outside world. And so even though Luke Cage, Misty Knight, Eden, and Storm as well look just like them, because they're not from Wakanda, they cannot be here at all. On top of that as well, Storm can definitely not be here because, well, she used to be queen of Wakanda before Black Panther had ended their marriage. But either way, though, you do have Black Panther say goodbye. And honestly, we're going to see these characters once again down the road, helping Black Panther save Wakanda in later videos. Now, to wrap up this video, we actually do pick up with Black Panther and Eden finding a way to finally save Shuri's life. Because remember, when it came to Shuri was attacked by Thanos, and Thanos had put her inside some kind of stasis cube. So she's not dead, nor is she alive. But either way, Eden and Black Panther were able to find a way to bring her out of stasis. Now, for T'Challa, he's hoping that when he does this, he's hoping that with the Queen of Wakanda returning, maybe, just maybe, the people of Wakanda will finally calm down and begin the process of making everything better. But here comes the problem though. Once they're able to bring out Shuri is wearing one of the Midnight Angel's armor. On top of that right there, which means it seems like that she is not on his side, that she is very angry at her brother, and possibly Shuri could fight against Black Panther in the next video. But this is where we are going in today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoyed today's comic book video. Later, guys.